Welcome, everyone, to Price Action Live for August 29th, 2025. I'm one of your traders, Tom Hartman, alongside the fearless and the peerless Mike Christensen, co-founder and CSO of TradersPost. Up to 4 days a week at Price Action Live, we trade in front of you using the advanced trade execution engine known as TradersPost, the epic software that upgrades your trading. Whether trading stocks, futures, options, or crypto, TradersPost is a must. And today we are trading with prop firm accounts. Today, Mike, is PCE inflation data day. Yay! And it came in flat.
It came in as expected. Yep.
Right.
So we got core PCE at 0.3% against a forecast of 0.3. Personal income month over month was 0.4, and personal spending was 0.5. So it looks like economic data is coming in kind of as expected, and GDP growth rate as of yesterday came in 20 basis points higher than expected. So as long as we are to trust all of this economic data, then it's looking pretty positive.
As long as we're to trust it.
Let me just clarify the caveat there. Yeah.
I just love when everything comes in exactly as forecasted.
Yes.
No deviation, no surprise to the markets. All right. So what's your bias?
That said, it was, it does appear to be negative for markets here. We hit a top at R1 and R2, which, if you remember yesterday's session, our expected move was up to 23.8 as a top, and the bottom could have been as low as 23.3. Right. We hit the top overnight at R2, and now we're actually back down to this 0618 line that I was talking about yesterday. So if this is a retrace from this overall move on the 2-hour chart, then I think we just confirmed off that line. Let me actually just draw this out. I'll make this a little bit easier to see. Let's turn off the indicators here. So now I just have we got the dollar in the background, which is rising. So with the dollar rising, we've got the NASDAQ being pulling back here. But let's measure out our Fibonacci retracement. Top candle, bottom candle. You can see here the 0618 line was right about here. And oops, am I not on logarithmic? Yeah, we are. That was right about here on that line right there, which is where we're opening. The market open should be right at this 0618 line. But then just above that is the 0786 line, which is still a retracement line, and we barely confirmed off of that. So let's see, pull in, stop it. I don't know why that's happening. This is driving me crazy. What I was hoping for was the text for the... All right, so we got the 786, which we pushed down from on the 2-hour chart, barely touched R2. And today's expected move is interesting. It's still reporting a potential move up to 23,814 and a low at 23,592, or let's call it 23,600. Expected move is about 0.47%, or about 110 points. So I'm not expecting a big move today. 23.5 is only about 128 points below where we're at right now. And if we move up, we move to R2. So we're going to pay attention to price action again, but I do expect it to be kind of boring today. We'll do a little bit of scalping because it's probably not going to move all that much, which means it's going to be hard to do some trend following. That guide right there, especially when the VIX is this low, has been really helpful for me. We're at 14.5 on the VIX, and it's really hard to get into a big move of the day when the VIX is this low. We just don't get the volatility we need in order to capture a trend. So I'm going to aim for just scalping today, and I am neutral on the day. It could easily go up to that 23.8 level. It could easily come down to the 23.6 level. In either case, I'll be ready to go long or short around VWAP.
So for you, if 23,814, that to you would be, I'm just getting used to NASDAQ. Is that to you a small move in the day? If we get
overall, it's not a massive move, but if we can pick it up, it's worth 150 points or more. That's a pretty good move for the day. In general, we've seen much bigger days than that in the past, especially on a down day. A lot of these intraday candles can be as large as 200 moves or 200 points just for one candle. But so volatility has come down. There's just no question about it. Let me pull up like the Bollinger Bands here, for example, and you can see this contraction of volatility around this range. Whereas, if you're just measuring the volatility of these bands right here, it's much larger. So when things get really tight like this, it's just a lot harder to capture a move unless you're willing to sit there and watch paint dry. Yesterday was a perfect example of a trend up that if you just held it for the entire session, it was definitely a lot better. When it finally came back above VWAP and closed above VWAP, it was worth about 93 points for the rest of the session. Depending on how big your position size is, 93 points, let's just call it 100 points to make the math easy. That's $2 a point on a micro, so $200. You would need 3 contracts to make it a $600 day. So you can still make some money. It just takes a long time to finally get where you want to go.
Right. Well, I got to say, I've been, because of this 15-minute technique, the chop has been, to me, just as profitable as the trend. It just takes more time to do it. Like you said, it's this grind out. Now, as far as where I think price can go here. So last night, so we had to close. Let me just switch my chart. So when we close over here, or when we opened, I did get an H signal on the 2-hour. And so I was essentially short for most of the night. Obviously not while I'm sleeping. I'm not going to sit with futures contracts open while I sleep. But the idea here is
throw a trailing stop on there, Tom, and live a little.
Yeah, 100% guaranteed that 1, it'll fire, and 2, it'll then move in my direction on the other side. No, thank you.
if you've got, well, that's fair. I suppose it could go the other direction, or you capture a bunch of upside and it doesn't execute where you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the my expectation is that we would move down. Let me just hide my drawings here. So there was an unmitigated daily level, VWAP level over here at 23,663. So when that H showed up, I figured that's exactly where we're going to go. And that's where we went. We are hitting my wave here and now oscillating around that that mitigated level. So it's always interesting here. Because that move is done, the question is, okay, what's the next level to look at? And there are no more levels above us as far as unmitigated levels are concerned. All these other levels that were passed before were already mitigated. So it's not like drawing the price in the same way.
Yeah.
So same thing over here when we had this H that showed up, and then the price moved down to the daily level that became mitigated. So now that whenever that level gets mitigated, if we're above it, then I would say, okay, it's bullish. Like I would say naturally, just take my long from over here and expect to move up. But since we're below it, I'd have to get above 23.63 and basically close on the 2-hour in order to feel comfortable, which doesn't help us out for this morning because it's like, well, I can't wait for the 2-hour candle to close. Or when it does, it's like there's other things to do. Plus, we have an L that just showed up over here, which is just telling me there's a short-term bounce and potentially a beginning of a downtrend. So I would actually be looking for price to consolidate sideways underneath, let's say, the daily, the EVWAP, all the way up to like 23,683, and then roll over lower. Because we seem to be in a, well, I don't know if you would call this, to me, this is like we're in a volatility event. I'm not sure like how to call it. We're in this chop volatility event, which suggests that we can then go lower still. And the next level to really pay attention to is the next daily is at 22,760. And then the weekly unmitigated level is at 23,370. Oh, sorry, 22,370. So it's like I have a bias towards the downside now.
Yeah.
But for the day, I'm going to treat it like it's chop, and as long as we stay below the EVWAP, I'm just going to assume this downtrend move. So my next level for this morning that I'm looking for is 23,634. If I'm totally wrong, then the price goes up to 23,711. So we'll see.
Okay, so you got a little bit more of a narrow band than the options market is expressing to us. They're at 23.8 and 23.6, but you're pretty close to those expected ranges. We are going to have a pretty big gap down, it appears, at least as of right now. We're 5 minutes from the open. The gap is about 40 basis points. So that's a big enough gap for me to want to pay attention to the potential of us closing that gap before we head back down.
Right. Okay. So I have to remember my rules here. So I'll tell you, my favorite session to trade or be in or whatever is the Tokyo session. The Tokyo session just drifts and trends in the direction that it trends, and you could just, I don't have to worry necessarily about some big news happening. The worst session is the US Open.
Yeah.
It's just anything can happen. You can lose your shirt, all the gains that you made. So I'm not sure how to feel.
Yeah, you just got to size well and get ready for the price action. But like I said, with the volatility being so low right now, these sessions aren't too bad. They're not terrible to trade. They just don't continue. We don't get the follow through that we need right now.
Right. A couple of my rules, or a couple of things I've changed for myself, is that I've now my base order now is 5 micros, because I was doing 1, 2, and then 3 for the 3 legs. That ended up just not being worth it.
I see.
I'm eking out profits and it's like this grind for nothing. Big moves. I'm not actually making any money on it. So then I switched to 2, 4, and 6, and then I never got a sense of what's my position right now versus the risk that I'm taking. And so a move that I got used to at 4, all of a sudden now at 6, I'm losing more. I'm at 2, I'm not making enough, and I was just like, okay, this is not working. Okay. So now I'm just doing 2 legs, 1 at 5, 1 at 10, and just leaving it at that, not going any more than that. And that way,
I 1 at 5, 1 at 10. You really mean the second one is 5, totaling 10, right?
Correct. Yes.
So you're basically sized up to one mini at that point.
Correct.
Okay.
And I find that that's enough to make a move worthwhile.
Yep.
But still, the downside is not so crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm more likely to respect my stop because I'm not looking to lose $400 in a flash sale.
Sure. Yeah, and I think we pretty much are on the same page with my accounts. I do 3 contracts at a time and 3 legs. So 3 legs in, if I'm fully exposed, I'm in 9 micros at that point, which is almost 1 NQ. And then sometimes I'll add a 4th leg if I'm really feeling frisky, and that puts me in at 12. Speaking of which, I got a couple of accounts I need to size up just a little bit because I had some profit I added to them.
All right, market's going to open in 1 minute. Guys, just a reminder that TradersPost software allows us to connect multiple prop firms together. That's why we're trading the prop firm accounts right now. And it's very easy to do. You head over to traderspost.com, you sign up, connect your accounts, and you're able to set up your subscription, set up your different features, your settings, and send a signal from TradingView to TradersPost in order to copy that signal across those different accounts. If you're interested in trying it out, you can go ahead and open up a trial account or use our coupon code PropScaling20 in order to get 20% off not only the plans, but also the add-ons for the features that are available within our platform. All right, 20 seconds. Market's already looking to sell off here, but I'm not doing anything until a couple of candles in.
All right, so we're going to wait a few. Okay, let me get the 1 minute started. We're going to have a nice gap down here for the open.
If we get to 23,634, I'd likely have I'd like enter along there.
Yeah, I could see that working. I like that zone because we're effectively on the 2 hour, we're bouncing right off of this support zone at the 618. We've got some short-term EMAs that are showing support. Weekly VWAP is down there at the bottom at 23,587. So I think starting along there in that zone makes sense.
I might get my entry here. Let's see. Ah, my logs are on. Oh no, we're having the thing where the orders are not. The trading view is not.
Yeah, there's
Turning on the signals.
always alert congestion. A good reason to wait a few minutes from the open as well, just for all their webhooks to flush out. And another good reason for TradersPost to just build in our own trading panel.
That's right.
All right, 2 candles in. I see a little buying pressure there. That's nice.
I missed my entry. Dang,
Oh, no.
I missed it by a couple of points. That would have been an easy scalp.
Let's see. Are they starting to trigger on now? Oh, there's still a bit of a delay, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate.
Okay, I see it. It seems to be kicking in now. For me, anyway.
Okay. Well, I missed my entry, but I don't like to FOMO in, so I'm just going to let that go. And we are way further, 18 points away. So just hitting the enter button now would be so silly.
Yeah, I went ahead and dragged up a buy down to 634.50. So if it comes back down, great. If not, I'm going to watch for a close above VWAP here.
Hey, yeah, 634.50. Yeah, it's perfect. That's exactly where I am at.
All right, so we're on the 3rd candle, about ready to close the 3rd for the open. That gives us a few candles to determine where the initial participants are, but we still have some orders to flush out.
All right, let's here. I got filled.
Filled here as well.
If I'm going to take profit at all, it'll be at 23,659. If we get up there,
I think I also like it at 623, but I'm going to go ahead and place a second leg at 623. Yeah, so overall on the 2 hour, while this pullback looks kind of bearish, we're in a support band. So I'm really with you here, Tom. I think that there's some potential for some upside. We've got a nice big gap to close for the session as well. So I'd like to see if I can average into a decent position down here. Normally my rules would be pretty mechanical and I'd say, well, we're closing below VWAP. Let me establish a short. But the overall trend is just so strong. And more importantly, the expected move is fairly small on the day and only shrinking. So I'm expecting that we won't travel far from VWAP.
yeah, right now I'm just looking for a small move up to 23,659. In fact, if this candle closes here in 7 seconds and profit, I will be moving my stop up. Okay, that's barely. I currently have my stop at 23,620.
Oh, that's where I pretty much have my second buy prepared.
Oh, really?
So you're really scalping.
Yeah, I just would like to be in and out, in and out.
The reason I'm doing it this way is because I think that there's enough of a move at the open. You know, most of the excitement in the New York session occurs within the first hour and a half or so. So I'm going to try for a move here, see if I can get some of this gap to close, and then take some profits. And then if I'm wrong and this gets invalidated, then the rest of the session here is just to see if I can get some chop trades.
Right. Okay, and a signal that is calling for a potential bounce here. Let me give this more room. I've learned to respect those oversold signals.
Fair. And we just came out of that bounce. So if you're looking at the 15-minute chart, we just came off of an oversold bounce.
All right, here. Wow, look at those wicks.
Let's pull this up just a little bit closer. Yeah, several dojis. Okay, it looks like my second leg might be... There we go.
And I'm out.
I'm at 23,628 on average.
All right, my stop hit. I lost
bummer.
that.
So we're still in this support band. I want to keep an eye on how the market responds now. Nice wick here from the S1 line.
Wow, it went right back up. Come on, Tommy. Look at that.
I'm going to try to add one more leg here at 606 and we'll see how it goes. I'm still expecting this to be support. We're not risking a lot at the moment. I'm down about $100 on the big accounts. So this is an easy one to average into very slowly. And this is the nice thing about the low volatility environment is you can take some fairly interesting positions and let price drag a little bit without taking a ton of risk.
All right, what is 15-minute telling me?
15 looks a little bearish.
Yeah.
But it's still finding support there at the 620 level.
I mean, I would be taking shorts if we were higher up, if we bounced up higher. Right now, I'm not interested in going short from over here.
Yeah, we definitely need we also need a bullish candle to show up in order for this to make more sense.
There we go.
All right, so I just got into my third leg. We're still in the support band. Weekly VWAP is almost here.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get ready to stop out.
I'm ready to now add another long.
You want to go long from here?
Just from VWAP.
Yeah.
Just to give it a shot. We're so oversold on RSI.
Okay, we just touched the weekly VWAP. And given that it's Friday, we got plenty of additional data at this point on VWAP to give us some confidence that this might be more important. There's the bounce off of VWAP, putting my third leg back into break even.
Sorry. My screen just
Comment here says, you guys don't take into account news or fundamentals while trading. In general, I'm a technical trader on these charts. I'm listening to price action here. Any of the news or fundamentals are going to show up in the price.
I found my life is greatly negatively impacted when I pay attention to the news. I start bouncing around and, hey, this is what the technicals could mean. And then I just completely get screwed up.
I think you'll find too that you do not have to be right about where price is going to go in order to make money. It's really a matter of positioning yourself well and riding a trend as it starts to emerge.
All right, another potential bottom end signal.
I like those bullish candles on the 1 minute.
Yeah, we could still wick to 23,585 and I'd be fine, but much lower than that, then I'd be out of this long. Now the move up to 23,659 is even sweeter. So please give it to me. Actually, we got to get there at some point.
Okay, I like it here. This is showing me a lot more positive indication that weekly VWAP was just respected. We just bounced off, and the 15-minute chart looks good. 2-hour chart is starting to show confirmation that this is the support band we were expecting at 23.6. And we're starting to break out of this downward regression trend on the 1-minute chart. We've got some distance to travel, but I'm basically back at break even on all 3 legs, so I'm well positioned at an average price of 23,621.
Tipteraluni says, haha, love it. I'm going to assume you're Canadian, and so thank you, brother, for being here. Or sister, I have no idea. All right. Yeah, loony's $1 in Canada.
Oh, got it.
Oh, I was like, wait, oh no, he doesn't know.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and raise my stop and start trying to pay attention to the potential for a reversal here. Obviously, we're still below VWAP, so I want to pay attention to whether the market says, forget this, we're going back down.
It looks like it's trying to do that.
Yep. Well, let's see what happens on the weekly VWAP still.
I would have expected much more of a bounce there.
Of course, Tom, the day that I forget my mechanical rules, price action wants to follow a trend. My goodness.
Brutal. Okay, now we're at EVWAP, the weekly EVWAP, so let me see if we get a bounce over here. If not, I'm out.
Watching this candle, I see 594. I see some potential that it could break from here, so I'm going to get ready to stop out. Buyers need to show up pretty much right here.
Yeah. But we're so oversold on the 15-minute. I sort of just want to keep layering into these longs. I mean,
do you have the guts?
Yes. I do have the guts for that. So thank you for reminding me. That's exactly what I'm going to do. All right. I wish we were a little bit further past EVWAP.
It's 50-50 trade here. I'm not a fan. I'm starting to see some potential for breakdown here, but
yeah, all right. 39 seconds for the close of this candle.
God, the buyers are really trying. I keep seeing these flashes back up to the 590 level.
Right.
And then the seller step back in.
All right. Sellers got it.
Damn. Okay. Unfortunately, that was, once again, much more than I'd like. Let's turn this around. We've got another approach here that we can take.
Wow. Look at that. All right. I guess time to go short, even though I don't like that.
Not always right on every trade, but you got to do what you got to do. So let's see if we can pull ourselves out of this. There's an opportunity now to see if there's any kind of bounce or retrace and follow the trend downward from here. There's an expected move here all the way down to 23,592, which we've already broken from the options market. On a technical basis, looking at the higher time frame, if this is a continuation to the downside, then I would expect us to move all the way down to the 23,300 level.
I mean, it's just churning through these levels. 548, 534. Who knows?
Wow. Okay, I'm glad I got out of that position, obviously.
Well, I'm currently short. Let's see if that works. I'm really surprised about this follow through to the downside. What am I missing here? We are severely oversold now. Oh, there's a level at 23,518. I did not know that. Okay, 23,518. That's where the bounce, if any, could happen. Okay. 23,518. Of course, I'm still waiting for the price to move up because we are oversold on the 1 minute. Bounce coming. Okay. We had that before. We bounced up to the 15-minute VWAP. Let's see if it clears that or if it goes straight up to 23,626.
Okay. Yeah, I want to watch it around the 588 level. So I'm taking a quick scalp for 20 points up to that level. I'll take a little bit of profit there, and then I'm going to get ready to go short there.
If we get there, it didn't get above.
Yeah, there's a lot of selling pressure here. I see it.
Yeah. What was that level? 23,518. Actually, I'll do it this way. I'll just do the side swapping and go along. 23,518. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
No hands.
Did you take a short?
I'm in a short, yeah, to 23,518, and then I'm going to try the long again.
Got it.
Using the side swapping feature of TradersPost, where I can just, in one order, it'll go ahead and go long the other side. Okay.
Okay, so I took a fairly well-sized scalp there. on NQ and pretty much wiped out my losses. So now for most of these accounts, I'm only down a couple $100.
Well, way to go, Mike.
So dug out of the hole, ready to take the other side. But what I want to do here is wait for a little bit of bounce, and then we'll see how we reject off of 564 or 576. I want to potentially take another short there.
Oh, come on. Just give me the few extra points to 518. Are you really going to do this to me? Let's just do it. Dang. We have a few minutes to the close of the 15-minute candle, so there's still hope.
Quick reminder, do you have any open order lines that could screw you up?
No.
Good.
All right, let's see here. I'm almost ready to turn long. Can I get one more leg down?
It feels like it could. Definitely some decent buying pressure there. If we go down any further here, we've got yesterday's low of 486. And of course, S1 is all the way down at 350 or so.
Right. We just broke above the 50-minute VWAP, so it does not bode well for me.
For a long.
No, I'm short right now. I'm trying to get short down to 23,518 to
Understood.
then go long, but it's given signals of finding a bottom right now.
Potentially. We're still in a really nice regression trend here on the 1 minute. And I've already added one small scalp, micro scalp. I'm going to add a second one here at 573.
In which direction?
Short. Just for 20 points though. So even if it doesn't complete a new leg, I still profit in this trade.
Got it.
Because the size of these candles is enough for me to take profits. The size of this whole regression trend is about 60 points.
Alrighty.
Okay, I see the bullish potential for a reversal here. Let's see if it can break out of the regression trend. I added a second micro scalp, and I'm expecting it could reverse from here. So that would be 2 profitable trades, $40 each. I'll make 80 bucks if we push back down to the bottom of this regression trend. It's looking promising.
Let's see here.
Now it's starting to look invalidated. Now I'm starting to wonder if this is a good spot to add on to the short.
I wouldn't, yeah. Because we're still 23,555 is the weekly, not the weekly, the 15-minute VWAP. So while we're above there, I'm nervous. Okay, come on, close below.
Okay, there's one in profit.
Come on, 20 seconds. Give me that flush. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You gotta use every tool in the kit.
I feel you. Huh, interesting. I think there was a bit of slippage in my entry here, so I'm taking profits farther than I expected.
Oh, come on. Get back down below 23.55. And then good things will happen.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to take profits at 540. And I just barely missed it.
Darn. Okay, that bodes well.
Yeah, let's start. Excuse me. That's starting to look like the rejection I was expecting for this regression trend. So this little up move was invalidated. We're still closed below the 8 EMA, and the trend appears to be continuing. So I took profit on 2 more little micro scalps. I'm now down 153 on the larger accounts. So basically at break even for the day. I'd like to see if I can actually make a little money here today.
Okay, let's see if it... Come on, tick into it. Are you kidding me? Tick into it.
Did you miss it?
Oh, no. All right, I'm in. All right. So that trade gave me 455. Let's see if this works the other way now. All right. Oh, that was a nice little win there. I needed that. All right. Now I need a tight stop on you. My stop is going to be right around 23,500. I'm currently long 5 micros.
I was going to say, does it feel like the move is exhausted at this point?
Well, that's my technical levels there at
Yeah.
So we could go further, like to 23.5 or whatever.
Maybe, yeah, 23.5, maybe 493 even. I'm going to place a little micro scalp at 495.50, which is near the bottom of this regression trend, and just see if that's where the next bounce tries. I see that momentum has slowed a little bit, so maybe the selling pressure is over and the buyers might step in.
This is what I'm thinking, because
we were already oversold.
Correct.
And that puts us pretty much right in the middle of R1 and R2, or excuse me, R1 and S1. Let me move this down now because we invalidated that level. So now S1 becomes R1, R1 becomes R2. So now we're expecting some kind of potential bounce right back up to 23.6, which would now serve as R1. Okay, I'll go ahead and put on a micro scalp here. I want to add a couple more below it. Again, we're just aiming for 20 points of movement, 40 points of gain. I'm just going to try to scalp my way out of the rest of this loss and pick up a little bit of profit for the day. If we start to establish what becomes a more clear move, then I'll try to set up a long from here, expecting that to move to R1. So Tom actually dropped off for a moment. Looks like his internet connection might have become unstable. So you guys can hang out with me for a minute as I try to build up a few scalps. These little scalps are basically alerts from the NQ chart, but they actually just trade MNQ, one contract. So I'm not taking a ton of risk on this trade. This is very small, $40 of risk for $40 of gain on each trade. And I want to see if this was the bottom. If it shows that it's the bottom, then I take a little profit off the table. If not, I didn't risk a whole lot. And as my confidence builds that we may have found the bottom, I'll start to add a larger position on. Interesting. So we had a candle flash there that was a fairly large range, actually, about 31 points of movement. Took the stop loss on my little scalp trade already. And take a look at our performance here for the day. So at the moment, the only reason I'm up is because I've been taking a lot more profit on some of these accounts for that one scalp trade. But overall, I need to add to my win rate. All right, so it looks like buyers just started to step in. We saw a flash candle from the bottom here at 504. Let's see if that was the bottom.
Yeah, and there's the start of the new 15-minute candle. So
Okay.
I'm more, and I have a bottom in signal, so I'm feeling more confident here on my long.
Yep.
I don't even know if I got into the position properly because of, oh yeah, I did. Perfect.
Okay, so I did just take profit on the other side there, so I kind of balanced out my loser with a winner. Let's see if we can keep going from here. I am thinking I'm going to go ahead and try to set up a little bit longer term of a position here, but I'm noticing there's a bit of congestion on TradingView right now, so I want to be careful. Oh, look at that. Bounced right off the other side of the regression trend. So another
Yikes.
potentially invalidated up move. That's 2 now. I don't quite count this first one here. That was a pretty obvious retrace to VWAP.
Right.
And we still needed a full move down. This could be the start of the bounce though. I see the candle forming on the 2-hour chart as well. Question is it enough of an invitation for the buyers?
Well, we have all these people who are short who earn profit, so the market has to take their money away from them. That's what it would do if I was on the other side. So
yep,
that's what it's going to do now.
It's a good way to think about it. Okay, I think I'm going to add another long, just a little micro scalp here. And I want to add a couple more at this zone. This is starting to feel like we may have found a bottom. Maybe. Right in the middle. Okay, added another one. But it looks like both of those are going to fail. We are not out of the woods yet. All right, we lost Tom again. Catch up with him in a moment. That was a lot of slippage on that entry. Couldn't get that order to execute where I wanted. That's going to place me a little lower than I wanted, put a little more risk on than I expected, and I don't think we're going to touch my buy limit there. Possibly. I'm going to exit this one. I'm not a fan of where that got in. Yeah, I'm getting a little frustrated with TradingView. Ultimately, the entries I'm hoping for are just not executing where I'd like them to execute, especially when there's this much price action. And this isn't even that much price action. This is a fairly slow sell-off compared to where I've seen it in the past. Interesting. All right, so the next potential support level from here would be the bottom of the 2-hour regression trend, about 457, or we start to bounce off of the 23.4 zone overall. We're at 466 right now, so I want to kind of watch where we go from here. It's a very clean sell-off. Normally, I would have been in a trade like this from the very start of the session, but had too much of a bullish bias here. So,
Well, nothing like losing your connection and coming back and being down hundreds of dollars.
sorry
Brutal.
to hear it, Tom.
Brutal.
You had no stops on that?
No, I did. I just came back in it. I'm glad the stop happened right before I disconnected. Like I placed it on the chart, so I wasn't sure if it actually sent, and so it did send. Wow. Look at that
So
move.
this is a much bigger sell-off than I think we were anticipating today. Definitely the options market was not expecting this kind of move. So the expected move on the NASDAQ wasn't very helpful today. We're down 1.3% for the day on NQ. And that's a fairly big move, 300 points down from the open.
Yeah, that's way bigger than I could have imagined. We're even headed towards the 3-month VWAP at 23,355. Who knows? So
I'm noticing here on this opening candle too that the dollar is starting to fall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what is going on? The dollar's not even moving. Why is the market selling off? Oh, market down, vol down. This is what Ken Carson was talking about. We're headed into month end.
We got Friday expiries too. So there could be a little weirdness there in price action.
Well, the following answer is yes. I have another signal for a bottom, so I will try again.
Same. I've got. I'm going to go back to the micro scalps. Try to keep my risk low. I tried to put on a larger scalp, but price action had me a little spooked because I didn't get in where I wanted to, and my buy stop was way too close to my entry. So, unfortunately, it took a couple $100 loss there, and I'm back to digging out of the hole again.
And you want to turn again and fall, don't you? Don't worry. I'll take every potential bounce here. I would love to be able to take a reversal all the way back up.
All right, so I have 2 micro scalps open at the moment, 20 points on either side. Expecting that this could potentially be a bottom, but man, if the market really wants to get to 23.4, we're going to get there.
I guess you're right. All right. Well, this has been a bad day for me, but whatever.
Sorry to hear it, Tom.
Just remember, this feeling, I love. This is not the worst of the 4 pains that happen in markets. This is not the one that stops me.
Got it.
I mean, I did this when it was my own money being lost and not just a prop firm account. So I've got the grit.
Well, it
Plus
is the
go ahead.
That is the benefit of these prop firm accounts is you get a little bit of free risk, but you have to pay for the account itself. You get to rent a simulation and get paid on performance. That's what we are looking to achieve here. So if we think that there's a potential of a bounce, where do you think we go from here? If we don't even touch this 23.4 support level, I think it's obviously possible for us to retrace up to the 23.6 zone.
My next level up is 23,627.
Okay.
So that's what I would expect.
On the same page.
Yeah. But obviously, the further away it gets, the harder it is to get there. So
All right, that was one 20-point winner. Let's see if I can grab another one. I'm keeping my size real small because I'm still kind of uncertain about whether we're going to bounce or not. And it looks like this one's going to be a loser, so we're break even again.
Do we want to short?
That's my problem. I don't really want to short from here. It felt much better to short from the demonstration line. Here we go. So this area here on the chart, that was a much better short. This zone here, obviously, the initial retrace from VWAP. So if I were to short one more time, I would want to put a short on at around 489 probably.
Oof. What am I looking for a bounce?
Looking for a bottom. Okay, that one was a loss. I'm not seeing a setup that I like from here.
No.
And I've been pretty much on the losing end of my micro scalps.
Damn it.
What a frustrating day, Tom. This is normally where I would have been short this entire time. So
Yeah.
I just did not expect this move today.
Yeah.
That's a 200-point move so far. Leave it to me, though, to really start relying on expected moves in the NASDAQ only for the expectation of low volatility to end up being volatility on the chart. Just another reminder that things can go anywhere. Anything can happen.
All right. Well, enough pain for me today.
Yep. Okay. I'll probably try to find a bottom here. I want to see if we can break out of this channel. And if so, I'm going to try to scalp 20 points off from there. We are not quite in the ATR zone where I feel comfortable just yet. I want to see ATR fall just a little bit more. And then I'll try to take a scalp with much larger size and see if I can get not only out of the hole, but make a couple $100 for the day. There's going to be a bottom at some point here, and when that happens, those buyers are going to come in pretty ferociously because there's just so much buy the dip activity in markets these days.
It's that there has to be a bottom at some point that's been screwing me up so far.
Agree.
But like I've said on previous shows, it's always that feeling where I go, okay, I quit, and that's exactly where it turns around.
That might be here then.
Yeah, that's why I just added another long.
Fair enough. I'm going to do the micro scalps. I'll put one just a little bit lower here. Again, just trying to keep my risk low until my confidence is a little bit higher that we finally found the bottom. If that was the bottom at 429, that's an interesting spot to stop. That was the low of the previous overnight session.
Oh, was it?
We've only got one little wick here at that price, so we barely even found the wick. Like I would expect it to go to the actual 23.4 here. We still have one potential additional leg down.
An additional leg down. The problem is that every one of these bounces that I've taken at my signal, I could have just taken a $100 or $200 profit on every one of the bounces, but I'm trying to stay in for the trend back up. That's
the problem. It's you can't do both. It's so hard to scalp and trend follow at the same time.
And we get stopped out again. Wow.
Yeah, it's going to do it. I think it's going to do it. It's going to push to 23.4.
Not even the retrace this time to the 15-minute VWAP.
Is there news that I've missed today?
I never look. I only look after.
I just wicked off my stop there.
Wow.
Welcome to the Friday flush out. Anybody who is long is now taking their losses.
Yeah, just rinse them out. Watch, there's like a new war, and we don't even know about. So
yeah, if there's news I'm missing here, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think so.
Every now and then, I like to peek into the social chat on TradingView, because you'll get the news there, like what's going on. But I don't stay in there long.
Is there something happened in the bond market, maybe?
No, bonds are. I mean, short-term rates have been falling, but they've been doing that for a week now.
Okay, maybe here. These just keep getting invalidated over and over again. That looks a little stronger. I need some volume behind it, though.
Yeah, you're right. There's no volume at all.
It's one of the hardest trades to take is trying to catch a falling knife, obviously. All right, that one just took profit. Starting to show some promise that maybe longs are the right move here. As you've said, Tom, the market's going to extract a ton of pain. You got to figure out where your threshold is, right?
That's right. And Peter always quotes the Gattaca when the brother asks the genetically engineered brother asked the brother who's not genetically engineered, "How did you beat me when we would go out into the water and swim? You would always go swim further than I could. I was always chicken out and turn back." And he goes, "Oh, I just never saved anything for the return trip."
Yep.
It's such a great line. It's such a great line. You gotta be willing. It's what is it? The what's that football movie? It's the guy who's, damn it, I'm out. All right. Let's see if we can back here. All right, guys. Looks like there's a problem here with restream potentially. Just trying to fix that. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and end that stream here. Since we have some technical difficulties, we'll be back